Okay, so in my last video, I don't think I said this, that your values, your dreams, your desires, your goals are also part of communication. Okay, let me explain this. So, we're talking about principles of a relationship, and I said we've got communication, trust, intimacy, and the list goes on. And then I got to value, goals, dreams, and all of that. So now, communication is the soul of your relationship or any relationship. That is why I say your values, your goals, your dreams, your desires, they are part of communicating. They are part of who you are. So you communicate that personality, that person, with the values that you have, with the goals that you aspire, with the dreams that you have. You also communicate that in your relationship because it is part of you. It is part of communication. In fact, it is the most important part of communication. Look, communication is not just talking about how many kids you want to have in the marriage. Communication is not just talking about how many houses you want to build. Communication is not talking about who gets what and who doesn't get what. Do you understand what I'm saying generally? Communication is more than that. Communication is expressing you, who you are. Because if a person knows who you are, they would know how to live with you. I hope I am making sense. Now, let's take, for instance, that you want to communicate your income. It is very important. Income is also part of communication. Your income is also part of communication. And let me say this. I have heard many times when people say that you can get married to a poor man or to a poor woman. Fair enough. You can get married to someone who earns 10 times more than you. Fine. You can get married to someone who is up there in the cadre and then you are just low there. Great. Let me give a simple example of what is obtainable daily, and I'm going to start with the ladies. I'm trying not to make this video long because these principles of communication would have several videos. So I am a young lady, say 17, 18 years old, and I meet this guy and then we become friends, and then I'm not ready for a relationship yet, just maybe because I'm still young and all of that. I was still friends to 21 and it is time for me to get into university, and I don't have the money to get into the university, and this guy could help, because he's much more older than me. He's through with university, he's already working. And it's like, okay, no, it's no issues. I could help you with your school fees and all of that. And you go through the university, maybe halfway through the university, you get married to him and he completes the payment for your school fees and all of that. So apparently this guy has more income than you. You guys are not on the same page when it comes to money, when it comes to finances. He has got it. He took you, he paid your way through school, yeah? Now, in most cases, we've seen a lot of cases. At some point, it might be a problem if there is no balance, and that balance has to be intentional. First of all, the fact that this guy paid my school fees through university, I just feel very obligated to him. And it might not give me the voice that I want in my marriage. Because most times I want to say anything or communicate my dreams or communicate my desires, I might feel a little below him, knowing that the only reason I might be having these dreams or desires is because he sent me to through school, in quote. Now, if this guy is not, he's not a very sensitive person, he might not be able to help me see that even though he paid my way through school, it doesn't affect who I want to be. I could still have a voice in his house. So yes, I'm talking about things like that. Your relation, in communicating in your relationship, you need to communicate about income. Status is there. There's a level you are as a person, And when somebody has not reached that level, you guys might not relate well. Sometimes just because you want to get married or facial attraction, you just want to be with this person, you put a lot of things aside. And these things come back to haunt you because you see, when you get married, there's no putting aside. Everything is in the open. You want to buy a shirt for 200,000 naira because you can afford it, and your partner doesn't understand why you should buy a shirt for 200,000 naira because you can afford it. The money isn't hers, but she would feel you're a spendthrift. Do you understand? You get married to a guy who earns lower than you do, and you have a certain lifestyle. Sometimes you begin to hide the things that you want or you need just because you do not want this person to feel lesser than he is. So you can't take away all of these things in communicating in your relationship. You need to talk about, you need to know, you need to put in hierarchy, you need to put status into consideration, you need to put income into consideration, yes, your finances. Like I said, you need to put your religion, you need to put your beliefs. All of these things make up your relationship, make up how you connect to a relationship. Again, my name is Oke Uzo. I just share what I know about relationship, what I hear from some of my friends, what I research on and also read. Always stay tuned to this page for more videos and views from me. Thank you.